All right, guys, thank you for coming this evening. Good to see all of you. We are going to start lying in Shavasana for our first pose. So we're going to take it real slow, start with a very relaxed position. Let's have our strap next to us because we're going to need it for our next pose. And then any props that you would like for Shavasana, so a blanket under the head or bolster, anything that is helpful for you, bolster maybe under the knees. We can stay in our constructed rest. So like Chris is right now with her feet flat on the mat and the knees toward the ceiling. So make this as comfortable as possible for you. If we're feeling any discomfort in any area, the idea is to fill that space so it feels supported at this point. So we're not having to hang out in space at all. We're not putting pressure on our joints. We are feeling supported by our tools and the mat. Start taking some slow, deep breaths here. And you can work, if you like, a little bit of release breath. So inhaling, holding for just a moment, and then really relaxing as we exhale. Perhaps breathing out of the mouth, if that's okay for you. Otherwise, still in and out of the nose, providing a little bit of that release. As we inhale, drawing that breath all the way down to the lower belly, feeling the belly expand a little bit. And then as we release, that area draws in, the navel draws in and up. Try this a few times and get into your rhythm. If you're starting to feel lightheaded from the deep breathing, just take it slower. As we're in this pose, really letting everything settle toward the mat. Any space that isn't being taken up by props, just kind of melting all the way down, not holding with any muscle whatsoever. Working through our body and seeking out any areas of tension. Maybe we're holding that tension in the forehead, muscles of the face, perhaps the jaw. Letting all those areas release just a little more with every exhale. Let's let our limbs feel very heavy. Providing that full release of any tension. Letting that work through the body. So we've been focusing mostly on the body. Let's start focusing on the mind a little bit. Thinking again to things that we can release or let go of, that are not physical things, things that we are attached to, ideas or tasks that we have to do, or any problems that we're being faced with. Just let those fall over to the side for now. Especially anything that really doesn't serve us, things that we could potentially let go of, but we've been clinging to. Everyone has these things in their life at some point. Just using our breath like we did with our body, letting those things fall off to the side. Consider these things for a few more breaths. Start to breathe a little deeper, maybe moving our fingers and toes, rousing ourselves a little. Take another couple deep breaths. And when we're ready, let's reach for our strap. We're going to unroll it and take it around the sole of one foot, doesn't matter which. Bending the knee, moving it around the foot. We're going to keep the other leg extended on the mat. And we're going to use both hands with the strap to just gently draw that leg toward us. Gentle pressure here. Only as much muscle in the arms as you need to hold a decent stretch in your leg. We're going for mild to medium sensation along the hamstring and into the attachment of the glutes. We're always looking in our yin poses for that mild to medium sensation. And if we're not feeling anything, making any adjustments, but otherwise trying to stay really still and breathing into the moment. Playing that little mental game of having a non-defensive attitude towards sensation. So especially in our deeper poses, getting used to that feeling, as long as it's not pain, and going along with it and allowing our nervous system to adapt to that stimuli. about 30 more seconds here, just gentle pressure toward you. Like have a little bend to it. You never really want to straighten a limb entirely. You always want to have a little bit of cushion and micro bend. We don't want to lock out our joints for our practice. Let's inhale, and then take a big exhale, and we're going to bring our leg out to the side. So I've got my right leg, it's falling over to the right side. And I don't want it to hang out in space. So where it comes to the mat, I'm just going to let it fall down. So if it's down by the bottom of the mat, and that's where our flexibility is, that's okay. If we can draw it up closer to our side and have it resting down and keep pulling up just gently, we can do that. So a nice inner thigh stretch here. Keep your shoulders on the mat. Head and neck are comfortable. And just like before, only providing as much muscle as is necessary to hold our leg. This is a shorter one, just a couple more breaths here. Releasing into the stretch. Slowly lift that leg up towards center. Up toward the ceiling once more. And then we're going to draw it across midline, across our body, and down to the other side. So this time we are going to take a twist. So our hip is going to move. We're going to still keep both shoulders down on the mat though. And if we need to bend our knee, we can certainly do that as we come down. But the idea is to bring that leg to the mat and not have it hanging. So wherever we need to go in order to make that happen. I won't necessarily in this class give you specific requirements about how you should, what position you should be in your posture. That's not really what we do in yin. It's more about listening to our body sensation and seeing where we can go. So really tuning in, moving slowly. 3 more breaths. Very nice. Let's come up through midline again. And we'll release that foot from the strap and we'll go to the other side right away. Again, just gentle pressure like before. Holding firmly. Getting that nice stretch in the target areas. Breathing really nicely. Deeply. We're over halfway now, so make any adjustments you need to in this position to allow you to still feel that stretch. Not real strong, especially this early in our practice. Big inhale, big exhale, and take that leg off to the side like we did before. Ideally coming to the mat, bending as much as we need into our knee to allow that to happen, and then just providing some upward movement with the strap. Take your time. Our yin practice is not typically a sweaty class, not moving a lot. That doesn't mean that it isn't difficult, challenging to hold our poses and stay comfortable in them. There's a lot of mental effort required to allow yourself to be comfortable. Let's take it through center and to the other side, move slow. We can roll over, so we're stacking the hips. Drawing that opposite shoulder back. And a nice twist here. Use your breath to get a little deeper. Three more breaths on this side. Make them count. And slowly back through center. Use the strap to help lift. And then we'll release the strap from our foot. We can put that off to the side for now. Let's come to constructive rest, feet pointed down, knees towards the ceiling. Take some side-to-side movements with the knees, windshield wipers. Slow massage for the lower back. Take a second to pause on one side for a little twist if you like. Let's release the legs down and straight. Let's reach up over our head. Big inhale. Make this a full body yawn. Exhale, release. Let's bring the arms down to the sides. Nice. Bring the knees into the chest. Hold on to the knees with the hands, or if we've got sensitive knees, we can take your hands underneath the knee, just pull on the thigh. Draw them in towards you gently. Keep breathing, a little more of a squeeze. And then as we exhale, we're going to turn onto our side for baby pose. Just going to take a little time here. So we're stacking the legs, we're stacking the hips. We can lay down on our blanket, have our head on the blanket, and maybe have the head in the arms. Let's count on 5 breaths here. Feel the energy moving through our body. Here, let's use our arms to help us up. We're going to come to seated. As much time as you need. Sit nice and tall. Bring the hands, your knees palm up. This signals that we are receiving energy from around us, whether it's the sound, any sounds that are going on, things from the room, music, sounds of others, but also the energy of everyone else in this room. One more big inhale and exhale. All right, if we're in our cross-legged position, let's release one leg, and we're going to take it behind, fold it in toward our seat. And what we're going to attempt to do is sit nice and tall here still. We may need some support underneath our leg that's in front of us. That's fine. However, it's going to allow us to feel that rotation of the hip and this moving out and this external rotation here on the front leg. So take your time getting to this pose, make it comfortable. You need to adjust, perhaps bringing your heel either closer to your seat or further away to make that more comfortable. Maybe your foot needs to come away from the leg a little. Experiment a little bit, and once we're comfortable, let's try to stay still. We're still going to have our hands on our knees, palm up, unless we're holding and supporting our leg, which is fine. Using our exhale this time to release any tension that's in the hip, let the legs fall a little closer to the earth. As we inhale, straightening our spine, sitting a little bit taller, and letting on the exhale as well, letting the shoulders sink down and back. About one more minute here. Notice what your energy is telling you, what signals your body is giving. Again, notice if you're holding tension anywhere, the brow, the jaw, any of the other areas we talked about. We're going to transition from this pose into a more modified deer. So we can leave our back leg where it is and perhaps bring our front leg out a little bit so our heel is away from our thigh. So I want to give this option and also in the back, extend that leg a little bit. So it's kind of, instead of a deer pose, it's more like a 90-90. So 90 90 degrees with the front leg, 90 degrees with the back leg. So see how that works for you and adjust that as you need. One further thing that you can do is take your hand, your opposite hand, place it on that front knee, the leg that's in the front, and then take this into a twist. What we want to do is make sure we're sitting nice and tall as we do this. Our other hand is going to brace behind, very close to our spine. We're going to use a little pressure from this hand to help us turn and then look over that shoulder. So take that option if you like. Posture to start with is important. If we feel like we want to move deeper and it's going to break our posture a little bit, that's fine. This is yin after all, and we're not moving in this position. So as long as it feels okay, go ahead and explore. If we're in our twist and are feeling like we should come out, you can do that at any time. You need to make any adjustments in your stance or posture. Please do so. About one more minute here. This one's a little shorter. Really working into those deep tissues, allowing the joints, ligaments, getting into the fascia as well, that deep fascia connects our organs. Essentially holds our entire body together. On an exhale, let's release. We'll come back towards center with our torso. And this is its own counter pose. So we're just going to switch the legs and we can go to that original, if we like, where the heels are close in. The sole of the foot is close in. So I was on my right side last time. On this time my left leg is folded behind me. I'm feeling comfortable with that leg very close to my seat. You may need to release it a little bit out. If you want to, if you feel like you're leaning, you can use a blanket under one side if that's not comfortable. To lean like that, so we can be a little bit straighter. But again, really depends on how you're feeling. Just an option. This one will be a little longer. Settle into the pose. Sit nice and tall. Hands on the knees, palm up again if you like. Before making any adjustments to go a little deeper if we need to at this point, now that we've become accustomed to the pose. In the first minute or two, there's a lot of settling the body is going to do. Two more breaths. Very nice. Let's take that 90-90 position, or just bring the heels away from the body a little bit. Either way, this doesn't have to be perfectly 90 degrees, 90 degrees. And then option for our twist if we want to take that as well. So in this case, my right leg is forward now. So I've got my left hand just providing some support. My right hand's behind me, and I'm twisting over to the right. About 5 more breaths here. And exhale as we come towards center. Let's straighten the legs out in front of us. We can rock a little side to side. We do a lot of opening into the hips, a lot of twisting. That settle a little bit. When we're ready, we're going to come to our staff pose. So legs are fairly straight. We can always pad with a blanket or a block of the knees as we need. We've got tight hamstrings like I do. This makes it a lot more comfortable. Sit nice and tall. Hands are in the lap or on the mat beside us. Using some core strength to keep us erect. This is another shorter movement for a little bit. Keep feeling the opposition between the crown of the head and our connection with the mat. start to activate root block a little bit. By that, I mean we're providing a little bit of internal pressure with the legs. So drawing our legs together a little bit and feeling that all the way through the inside of the thigh, all the way to the navel. Just a little movement inwards. We're not actually bringing our feet together, we're just feeling that pressure. 3 more breaths. Very nice. We can bend the legs now. A little bit, if that feels good, maybe move side to side a little more. We're going to go right into a hip opener from here. And this is just a transitional pose. We're not going to stay real long. We can take our hands behind our shoulders, draw the shoulders back, right over our wrists. Doesn't matter which way the fingers are pointing, however it's comfortable. And then perhaps taking some side to side movements here. And then maybe drawing back a little bit, bending the elbows if that feels okay. Otherwise, just staying up and supported. This is our sunbather pose. We want to go a little deeper into, or a lot deeper, into some hip opening. We can come to kneeling and do the same position, if that feels all right. You want to go further than that, planting the hands down into the mat or using blocks under us, and then we can lift the hips a little. Doesn't have to be a ton. Really feeling that open. Done a lot of forward movements, done a lot of twisting, so we're working through the front of the thigh here. Head and neck are nice and relaxed. Try to make it so you're not feeling any pinching at the back of the neck. 3 more breaths. Nice and stable through the hands. And slowly release. Nice job. All right, if our legs are underneath us, let's take them around our lower legs and straighten once more. We can, again, as we need, have our blanket underneath our legs. We're going to come to caterpillar pose, which is basically exactly what Pam was just doing. So we're going to come forward. We're going to start with good posture, so the spine is fairly straight. Draw the shoulders and the head forward, and then we can rest the hands on the ankles or the leg. And then from there, we can kind of do whatever we want. So if we want to sink down a little further and let the head and the neck round and let the back round, that's totally fine. If we need some support there, that's where we can use our bolster. So if you've got your props handy, we can use our bolster to kind of provide a little bit of support under our arms. So our head and back are not hanging out in space as much. If you want them to hang out in space and that feels good, by all means. Keep releasing into the stretch. So this is not a vinyasa pose. We're not actively reaching forward and pulling into our legs. We're just coming forward and letting our back round. So if we're holding tension into our hands, our arms, try to relax. Relax the back and the neck. Getting deep into the spinal tissue here. Feeling some strong sensations along our posterior chain here. Our toes through the bottom of the feet, all the way through the backs of the legs, glutes, the back, up to the neck, and perhaps even to the crown of the head. We're going to try to relax all those areas as much as we can, especially with each exhale. Relax a little more. See what you can let go of in order to get a little deeper into the pose and get more comfortable with the pose. Keep breathing, we're almost done. Three more breaths. After our third exhale, starting to release, drawing back up, take your time. Then we're going to come back to that sunbather pose, so our legs are still extended. Hands behind, draw the shoulders back. Chin lifts a little bit, perhaps. Draw the shoulder blades together a bit. And exhale, let's draw forward. Bring back seated. Like we did before, we're going to fold one leg in, but the other leg is going to come out extended this time out to the side. This is half butterfly. From here, we're going to sit nice and tall and turn our shoulders toward that extended leg. And then reaching down, we're going to draw the opposite shoulder back and then reach a little further toward that lower leg or the toes if they're accessible, feeling that open into the side body. So this is revolved head to knee, seated revolved head to knee. I only give this option if you really want to try it, but you may take your opposite hand up and over. You can just do this for a short amount of time. During our pose, it does allow for more stretch through the side body, but having the arm hang up in the air is not necessarily as comfortable. So use your discretion. It's hard in this pose, but try to let the shoulders relax. Not holding tension in the head or neck. Try to draw the breath right into the side body that's opening. This is another short one, just a few more breaths. Last big inhale. And exhale, let's release. Torso back towards center. And again, this one is its own counter pose. So let's fold the other leg in, extend the opposite leg, and we'll go to the other side. So starting with drawing that other shoulder back, reaching a little further down that leg, with that same side hand, and then up and over if we like. Otherwise, just letting the side body open. Again, it's difficult, but try not to use very much muscle in these poses. Letting gravity do the work. And only lifting your hand up and over, your arm up and over, if that feels okay. Feeling any tingling or numbness coming out a little bit, and let that sensation subside. Last breath of this pose, inhale, and exhale, release. Nice job. Let's come back to center, shake it out a little bit, take some movement here. Our last pose is going to be a kneeling pose. So you can take your blanket onto the mat. If you need some support under the knees, unfold it to whatever height you need. First, we're going to come to tabletop, and we're going to take some cat-cow movements. So moving the spine up and down, tilting the pelvis. Inhale as the belly drops, and we look up for cat or for cow pose, and then round the back, press through the hands for cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, press cat. More times. And release back to midline. Let's take our elbows down to the mat, right under the shoulders. We're going to move to puppy pose or melting heart pose. So what we're going to do here is shift our hips back a little bit, but keep them high. And we can move the arms forward or back to allow a little bit more stretch into the shoulders and chest, or a little less. In a traditional vinyasa class, I would encourage you to keep drawing your hips back and provide that tension difference between your hips and the crown of your head, which is on the mat. Here, we don't really need to do that because we're in yin. So if you feel like rounding your mid-spine, that's comfortable for you, allowing it to fall down to the earth like with our cow pose. Do that. Make any adjustments you need with your knees, moving them out a little further or a little narrower, and then adjusting your arms to what you need. If you're really not feeling it into your shoulders, we can put blocks underneath our forearms. Most people don't need that unless they're very, very flexible in their arms and their shoulders. Because we want the head to be resting comfortably on the mat. Taking some long, slow breaths here. Letting the heart melt toward the mat. That's why it's called melting heart pose. As before, letting the body fill in space that it wants to. Feel the energy of gravity drawing your heart space down. Surrender to this moment. Let go of control, whatever you're holding on to. Just under a minute to go. Keep working with your breathing. Assess the pose and make any adjustments you need. Remembering that non-defensive attitude towards sensation. Last breath in this pose. Inhale and exhale. Start to move out. Come back to tabletop. Take your time. You'd like to go a little bit further forward. Let the hips open. Come to lie on the belly with the elbows underneath the shoulders. Take a moment in our Sphinx pose. Go ahead. Take any movement you like here. Maybe we want to lift the feet up and rock them side to side a little. So working into the hips. And then releasing down. Let's use our arms to help us back up to tabletop. We're going to take our legs around and come to lie down on our back for Shavasana. As we did a regular Shavasana at the beginning of class, we can go back to that, or I'd like to offer reclined butterfly, which is from our constructive rest, bringing the soles of our feet together and letting our knees fall out to the sides. And then perhaps also bringing the hands up overhead, joining them, letting that same thing happen with our elbows. Supta Baddha Konasana. Butterfly. Regardless of what pose we're in, slowing our breath down, totally relaxing once more. Pranayama is to control or move the breath. The breath and the mind are two sides of the same coin. Like a duo of swimming fish where one goes, the other follows. The breath and the mind unite and enter into each other. These winds of energy, vayus, can be felt in two directions. Prana moves in and up and is expansive. Apana moves down and out through our body. To experience these flows, take a long, slow breath as if you're pulling the energy from the earth into your core and up into your brain. Feel the expansion arise. As you breathe out, pay tribute to the power of the sky, drawing energy down your spine to your tailbone and out. At the heart, if we look at the state of our breath, we can come to know our state of mind. When we change the breath, we change who we are, and everything changes. On average, at 16 breaths per minute, you'll take 23,000 cycles of breath per day. The ancient yogis believed that we are gifted with so many breaths per life, so why waste another breath? We come into this life on the inhale and leave on the exhale. Make every breath count. 5 more deep breaths. After a fifth exhale, starting to move a little bit, waking up the joints, waking up the extremities. Deepen the breath a little. And when we're ready, let's draw the knees into the chest using our arms and turn over onto the side. This is our baby pose that we did earlier in our practice. Breathe in deep. And when we're ready, let's use our arms to help us up and come up to seated. Legs crossed or open. Hands on top of the knees, palm up forward. Being open to outside energy. Receiving and not judging. Keeping our hearts open. Let's close our practice with a unifying breath and chanting the sound of Om. Let's release the breath we have. Inhale and say Om. Thank you guys for coming this evening. Next class is Wednesday at 9 o'clock for Vinyasa. We're back here 2 weeks from tonight. Make sure to hydrate and get some rest. See you next time. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.